they say it's the matrilineal line.
On that side?
So if your
Okay.
mom's dad had thick hair, and my grandfather, he had Einstein hair until the day he died. So I got lucky with that one. Another thing though is like we were talking about the beard. So this is as long as it grows. Beards just hit a certain length and they stop.
Oh,
They don't just keep
that's
going. Now
crazy.
some people they do keep
Huh.
going, and you can get the ZZ top out of it. But I think most beards or a lot of them, they just kind of stop where they're at,
It
and
just stopped. Oh,
then
I
you
didn't know
also
that.
get the weird striping, like gray, gray,
Uh-huh.
gray.
Yeah.
But in between these dark patches, like what is that? Where does that even come from? My genetics are weird. Greetings, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Dreamscapes. Today, our guest is David Deaton. He's out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. He is a conceptual artist who speaks to strangers about the taboo of politics. A person that some have called a bridger who facilitates conversations using art installations in free speech areas, creator of the Triptych Dialogue Art Project. And of course, you can find that at Triptych Dialogue on YouTube. Link will be in the description below. Let me try and rush through my part. Would you kindly like, share, and subscribe? Tell your friends. Always need more volunteer dreamers. I do video game streams Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific, most days of the week. Sometimes I'll take a Friday off and start a new game the following Monday. This episode is brought to you by my latest book, ABC Book 18, Oniro Chronologia, Volume 4, Prima Reliquarum. That's Latin for the first of what remains. It's all the other stuff I couldn't get into the original trilogy, and then there will be more volumes of that. The anthology grows. You can find all this and more at benjaminthedreamwizard.com, including downloadable or live streamable episodes of this very podcast, so you may take the wizard with you wherever you wander with or without Wi-Fi. And last but not least, if you'd head on over to benjaminthedreamwizard.locals.com, it's free to join, attached to my Rumble account. I'd love to hear from you there. That's a great place to keep up with what I'm doing, and reach out to me if you have a dream to share, and that is enough out of me. David, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Oh, I can't wait to see where this takes us.
I'm pretty busy. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm also making AI music, and I've over the last month or two, I've started writing a novel series that I originally conceived as a trilogy of a kind of a science fiction fantasy crossover, and it's actually probably going to turn into about 15 light novels. I got a lot of irons in the fire. One might say too many, but that's what you get with the absent-minded professor scatterbrain type of thing. I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I did that? And then I just do it, and it works or it doesn't. But we're
But
not.
that's the thing. You got to go out and do it.
It's true. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I've actually had this. Sorry, enough about me. Let's get back to you. You're getting out there and doing it. You're having conversations with people out in the world. I think it's a fantastic thing to do. It reminds me of so I'm in Portland, Oregon, and there's a professor who used to work at the university in downtown Portland, Portland State, I think, something like that. And his name is Peter Boghossian, and he gets out there and has difficult conversations with people. I don't know if you've heard of him at all.
No, I have not. No.
Yeah, I would
No,
probably.
I'm entirely in the art world, doing art experiments, and I kind of do things on my own and see what my own results are out of it with the interactions I get with other people. But yeah, there's plenty of readings and different people out there for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. And I wouldn't, I'm not comparing you to him. I think his methods are different. He's more focused on philosophy, and I don't know if he invented this or he borrowed it from someone else. I think he borrowed it from someone else, or he's using a method of someone else. It's How to Have Impossible Conversations. I think it's a book some other guy wrote, and he's using those things. But there's no reason that you have to follow anyone else's method. I do the dream interpretation intuitively. I think you just fell into this intuitively as well.
That's how it's just by experimenting one thing after another. It goes from like street art and going out and positioning things in unusual places, or burying artifacts out in the desert with different messages for 100 and 200 years from now, to going out
Nice.
to talking to people, to ripping up books with political messages in them and giving them to people and hiding them in public spaces, to art installations set up in national parks, talking to hundreds of different people, asking them non-confrontational political questions, seeing how they can use those in maybe mending relationships they broke up with, and then discovering people's stories, getting out of your bubble, taking the courage to speak out there. It's about exploring the foundations, of a really messed up society that we're living in with more and more division. How do you build up that foundation with others in person, face to face, offline, without the digital animosity and outrage that's out there? But then again, they'll go out and experiment. 1 year on Instagram, 365 abstract art videos about Plato's allegory of the cave, and doing a lot of crazy stuff, and going to different extreme political groups and going in and trolling them or asking questions with them and seeing where that goes, and coming back and forth, experimenting. You never know where it takes you, but after several years, it's true that I found that just actively listening to people and finding one thing you have in common with them, even if you completely disagree with them, that's your bridge. And it's not a fact or opinion, it's an emotion usually. They're angry about something. You might be angry about the same thing for different reasons. And you just tell them that. You tell them I'm that far leftist or far right or whatever that you've been complaining about. I'm that guy. I'm angry too. Show your humanity. So I go with that, and that just expressed in a lot of different installations that I bring to Yellowstone and Grand Canyon and free speech areas, and where it's unexpected, right? Art's everywhere. To me, that's what we're doing today. We're doing an art performance.
Yeah, we are making art. Podcasts are art, visual or audio or otherwise. As we were talking maybe a little bit beforehand, our presentation is a work of art as well. I mean, I could be sitting here naked with a bald head. That would be a certain presenting of myself. And, the best people I think are the ones that kind of just fall into, this is what I like. This is what's comfortable for me. And then it's just unique. It's just an outward reflection of their inward state of mind or emotional composition, that kind of thing.
Take it a step further. It's not just that we're always in some form of performance or it's not performative. It's the act of act with intention. And that's the process. We're all creative in a sense, but the artistic side of it, to me, everything is art and politics. There's not one, you kick a pebble, it has an effect as well.
Yeah.
Everything's connected.
I'll add a third
that's
one
where
there.
I'm at.
People
throw that in.
Oh, for sure. The third one say everything is art, everything is politics, and everything is religion. It's all about what you believe and what you want and what you feel and communicating that with other people. I think it's all the same thing. I don't know if you've considered that or if you draw a distinction.
I draw a distinction as spirituality versus religion because of not only the religion, organization, and structure. That's in a sense could be limiting to a greater expression of discovering new things. I think if there's a religion to be said, explore your five senses plus one with the mind. And there you have an experience that is all encompassing for the elements and the tools that were given to us. So go with that. There's a lot of expressions, and that's much wider and encompassing. It encompasses all that have access to those tools. We don't have all access to those tools, but if we do, let's use them. We're in a very acoustic and visual culture, but we're the other ones. When are you associating the word fascism or democracy with the smell? What does fascism smell like to you, right? What does democracy taste like, right? And just making these associations takes us to new places, brings us down to a moment to be more present and to explore new parts about ourselves, our thought processes, maybe to shut off the mind before the ultimate moment of death comes around.
Definitely. I think that's a fair tweak to say spirituality is probably more what I mean by religion. I'm using it as the broad umbrella term for beliefs. In that sense, what do you believe? What do you think about the world?
Throw that back in with politics.
In a sense? Yeah.
I throw that in politics.
I think it's all the same thing. I think people have a false dichotomy in a way that politics and religion are separate. I think what you do in the world is a reflection of what you believe, and so it's kind of all the same thing. So all political wars are religious wars in a sense. It's like, this brings me back around to the commonality, what you're saying, and then where the differences lie. I've long thought, and we'll see what you think, but I think you'll agree. We'll see that being human, we all have the same human needs. We're all trying to get the same needs met in the Maslow's hierarchy type of way. We need food and shelter, and we need belonging, and then we're trying to self-actualize all these things. Where we get into differences is what is the concept of for you what it means to satisfy those needs. What does it look like when a need is met? And then what are the acceptable or unacceptable methods to pursue achieving that concept? So I think more than anything, what people end up divided over is not what human needs are, but what it looks like to satisfy them and how to get there. I don't know if that makes sense to you or
Yeah, and that, of course, that in the obstacles of language as well, and definitions of word, and how we each interpret each one of those words. It's very linear, right? Language is very linear as we sew the words together in a line. It's less acoustic, coming from all directions, like in a cave with all the echoes coming back and forth, or a thump that has no reflection from any walls because the cave is so vast, or so small. And actually, be small, wouldn't it? It'd be less of an echo there. It's the words, how they're interpreted.
For sure.
There's a lot of interpretation. Maybe today there'll be some interpretation.
Right. Well, no, this feeds right back into, this is a great conversation to have too, because we're talking about how the mind works. And my theory of dreams is, it's rooted in the biological, but the heart beats, the lungs breathe, and the brain thinks. These organs just do what they do, and they do it whether you're awake or asleep. So there's an automatic process that's going on. So my concept of dreams is that is what our raw stream of consciousness thought process actually looks like in our head before we then try to turn it into language. And then we try to communicate it to other people. So we're translating our images, symbols, sensations that are because the brain is the brain across cultures and across languages. So everyone's starting with this core framework of we're thinking in sensations and experiences and imagery and tastes and smells, all the things you were saying. And then we translate it into language, which is often culture bound. And then we and then when you're talking about communication, there's 4 distinct areas that I've identified where communication can go wrong. It's what I think, what I say, what they hear, and then how they process it. Any breakdown across that, and you're not communicating. If you can't translate it into the right words, if they don't hear you properly and understand the words you're saying to mean what you're thinking, and then turn that into their own thoughts. Anyway, that's my thought on just how complicated. I'm amazed we can communicate at all. There's so many opportunities for things to just go shit sideways.
And there's so many aspects that we don't acknowledge in our communication, right? And especially as we're diving deeper and deeper into these digital devices, that we're lacking the nonverbal, we're lacking the smells, we're lacking also the whole tactile aspect of it. And things get lost in the translation of with the limited tools that we decided to use, with only 2 really.
For sure.
If we use the mind, and and visual and acoustic tools that we have at our disposal. I like to explore the other ones. I was having dinner last night with a group of people, all strangers. A lovely lady decided that once a month she has 7 people to come together, and we talk about mostly artists. So it's an echo chamber of itself, really. And we're going around answering whatever the question was for that evening. It's a bit of ritualized experience, and one of the participants, she just told me it was about smell. It's what she could smell. Now there was some pretty strong cheeses on the table that night, so that might have had something to do with it, but it wasn't a question of disgust or anything. It was just that's where her consciousness was with that, not really with the conversation as much as the presence of the smell that we could all appreciate if we were paying attention.
Oh, yeah. I think people underestimate or underrate smell as an experience. When it's bad, when it's different, when you walk into someone else's house and it does not smell like your house. Why does your house smell like your house? It's the aggregate of who you are and all the things you do there. How often do you clean, the kind of meals you cook, whether you open the windows in the spring or not. What's
your culture?
Yeah.
It's your culture.
Do you burn incense, or do you prefer things neutral as much as possible? Yeah, lots of different layers on that. And cultural.
I'm saying I'm not saying just cultural. I'm saying like a culture, like on that cheese that's growing.
That too, for sure. It may be literally and figuratively. One might say a French a cheese in a French home might smell different than cheese in a southern Georgia home.
Well, that's for sure. I'm French. I grew up in France. I miss my cheeses, that's for
Hmm.
sure. These cheeses seem very bland over here. I do like what people call a smelly cheese.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite with a glass of red wine.
America really, really leaned hard into the Industrial Revolution, including industrially
You know,
revolutionizing our food into standardized packets.
uh, mm,
There's a, I don't know. I go back and forth on that too. It's like, is it there's pluses and minuses. We lose artisan craftsmanship. We gain efficiency, standardization. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are good and bad about those things. I would ideally want a mixture of both. I wish we hadn't lost so many artisans making boutique stuff. That's the wrong way to put it, but really,
yeah, no, but
really
the artisans,
handmade
yes, the
things. Yeah.
handcrafted aspects. Yeah, some of us are out there doing it, but we can't run our entire economy on it.
No, it's true.
But
Yeah, it
maybe
doesn't
someday
scale.
we will, and that would be a very different scene.
Well, in a big, I mean, I'm just following my random train of thought here, but I
Mm,
would like to see our manufacturing return to a more local scale as much as possible. Yes, so there's a bridge between bridges, as you're saying, totally local, one guy per village artisans, and he's the guy that does it, the blacksmith or whatever, and all the cars are made in one place in Detroit. I'm like, can we have all the cars made in 50 places in each state so that we've got manufacturing of things as local as possible, but still at an industrial scale? I mean, I think we got to find that halfway point between maximum efficiency and maximum locality in a way.
how about I'm not leaving my cars to Dallas, Japan, and China or whatever, and then get my cheeses locally. How about
Oh,
that?
there you go. No, no, sure. And there's
All right.
different
The
industries maybe that are, it makes more sense for.
to centralize healthcare for certain diseases in one place rather than having 50 different hospitals trying to specialize in something that we could all go to
Sure.
one. Um, but let's leave our cheeses to the artisans.
For sure.
Need
Well,
some
then
local
here,
because there's some local culture in that.
well, no, no,
And I'm
yeah,
talking cultures.
literally. There is. Well, then we've got in Oregon, the Tillamook
Mm,
cheese factory, and I've been
mm,
there out on
mm.
the coast.
Uh,
I don't remember where. I was gonna say Newport, but that doesn't sound right. And they actually make, and that's the cheese I buy in the
mm,
store right here locally.
mm.
So I like that. Yeah, local cheese for sure. Local milk from the Tillamook dairy. So a few other things I wanted to get to here. So we got
Mm.
that I've been making notes as we go because I can't remember shit. Um, I was okay. Let me wrap all these three into one, because I think it makes sense to do so. So I wanted to get into your philosophy of art. Like, what is art to you? What is it intended for? What are you meant to be accomplishing by doing art, quote unquote? And how does that bring you to then having these political conversations with people? Why did you feel like that was the trajectory you wanted to go to? And then to bridge that in a way, like I'm going to keep using your own word. Um, there's a guy by the name of Daryl Brooks. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Mm.
He is a black man famous for befriending KKK members and just
Oh, yeah.
having conversations with them and eventually having some of those guys leave. Like, damn, I know Daryl and he ain't
Mm.
that bad. So maybe I was wrong.
Mhm,
And
mhm, mhm.
so maybe some of that's wrapped. I just wanted to mention that as a thing. So kind of maybe if we go from where your understanding of what art is brought you to these taboo conversations.
Right. So yeah, like a little bit what we were talking about before. So if you see all intentional actions as a artistic expression, and if you see every action and sometimes even non-action as a political action, the two kind of meld together. That there's nothing that you see, perceive in your surroundings that is not an action of a result of all of our political actions, and hence our artistic expressions everywhere we look. And if you look, as you start looking at everything, I just saw a flower drop off of a plant over here. So my interpretation of that, now that I see its shadows and how it is, I'm sharing a story, and your listeners are hearing this as well. And right there, my looking at it, perceiving it, and seeing its entire composition shows me other aspects, brings me in places. So if I was using poetry, there'd be words of impermanence, and I would use also elements of color and things like that in that perception. It's just a very rich way of seeing the world if you stay in that zone. It's a very creative space, right? And we can be in that space as we're driving down a car on the freeway as well. and taking in the very limited time we have on this planet. On the other hand, hey, we're here on this planet, and there's some things that are um, not quite harmonious. There's injustice, and we tend to want to. Now, I'm French, so I'm thinking, I like some of my words I'm thinking in French, translating in English. So,
Mm.
um, the uh, so we face when we see an injustice, we want to our politicians, the ones that we've elected to make decisions for us in our elected bodies. Um, we expect them to do certain things, and a lot of people are dissatisfied with them. And we go out and we cast a vote, and very few people cast out a vote in America. Far more in France, but that's declining. Um, and that's just one single act. And if that is an artistic act, when you go do that in a conscious manner and put that ballot in that box, I mean, what an abstract thing to do, really.
Yeah.
If you do it electronically, or is it a punch with a chat and all that stuff. Um, that expression is just is very temporary, and some of us are involved in politics in different manners, maybe from city councils, or even our property owner associations, or on the school board or the PTA. Those are all definite, like what everybody considers to be a political action of sorts. I like to bring it a lot further, that we can do that at every moment of our day. Well, every moment that we wish to during the day. And one of those is to speak, to talk with uh, your political opponents, right? People that have very different views, the ones that you're going to be most vulnerable to have a conversation with, because of the fear of an argument, of outrage, of a big disagreement, of maybe worse. And I invite people to have precisely that, to face that uh, growing taboo in America of politics, to go out and talk to people, talk with them, ask them questions, and just listen, be an active listener with all your senses. And let all the triggers that other people say, let them explode without them affecting you as little as possible. It's an exercise. It's a practice. It's almost a ritual, if you want. I'll go back maybe that's where we'll link into religion or something
Sure.
like this ritualization. And um, and at that moment, you have an opportunity to, if you're really listening in, there'll be probably not with that opponent a fact or opinion, but an emotion, an expression of a feeling.
Mm.
And just going to use anger. I always use like the word angry. They feel angry, you feel angry, maybe for different reasons. And to state that to this person is a way to also show your humanity. Specifically, if you say, you know what, I disagree with everything you said. If that circumstance occurs, I disagree with everything, but I'm angry too, just like you. And I'm that person that you oppose. I'm apparently your opponent, but we have that in common. And I've had hundreds and hundreds of these conversations over the years in public areas from strangers I just encounter, and I never had any violent confrontation of any kind. So I expected them to happen,
Mm.
right? To expose yourself and be vulnerable. Those things could happen, but no, they haven't. They haven't happened. Um, and it's an opportunity for the other to, because I see the other as me, as us, um, as this togetherness, to just be able to express something that was very deep, that had no outlet of expression, and that has it's an act of empathy, of compassion, to let the other person say all these things. Now, at the beginning, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like a verbal attack, I
Mm.
gotta say. But after a while, you're in this good space, and um, and and people just turn around and do the same with others, which kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like now, there's like hundreds and hundreds of people that are talking to Uncle Bob that they have disagreements with at Thanksgiving dinner, and they're having these conversations because they're listening, actively listening, finding one thing in common and telling Uncle Bob, I think you're full of shit, but you know what? You're frustrated about it. I am too. And that's the start of a civil, non-confrontational conversation.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to go anywhere. It just can be. It doesn't have to have nobody has to win anything. The win is just the other person being able to express what they had to say and have some ears of an actual other human person in face to face, there to listen to their taboo. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about politics. It could be about religion. It could be about the environment. You can choose any taboo subject that it is. But politics is a big one. So why not do that one? Because if you can do that one, then you can do anything, right?
Yeah. And politics kind of subsumes a lot of the other categories too, because you have to make you have to either make or not make public policy decisions about different things, and each one is a choice. As Rush said, there is even if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Yes,
love
and
music,
that is an action. That's an action too.
It is an
That's
action. Yeah.
No,
for sure.
For people that don't go out and vote, they are definitely making a political action. Maybe that was unintended, but they do make a big difference when they go out and vote. But there are things that we could do every day if we have the energy to do so, and if the opportunity arises as well. You got to put yourself in a situation to be outside of your echo chamber, to go into somebody else's echo chamber and to explore it, which is a very cool trip. People that like traveling, they don't have to go far because they can do it right here in their own neighborhoods with people that have different points of view and hear completely different stuff, completely wild stuff maybe. And you go, oh, there really are people that say that. And then, but then you get always surprised because then you find the humanity in the other, and then they find the humanity in you. And then that's good right there. I'm happy with that. Water flows.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And it's, I think a lot of it, as you were saying, comes down to what is your purpose for the engagement with someone else. And, if you come at it from a perspective of, I'm here to listen and understand versus I'm here to convince, win, dominate, control, I'm here to look good in public, or there's all kinds of motivations that don't serve understanding, connection, those kind of things. So, there's a lot of channels on the internet that do debates, and this is not one of those shows. I don't argue with people about what they believe. I just ask them and listen, because really that's serving my purpose too. I'm getting to know you a little bit. So when we get to the dream part, I have a little bit of an understanding of where you're coming from. And maybe that it just trickles in like rain into my subconscious, so that I'm able to then hopefully pull that back out when it comes to making suggestions about the symbols that might appear in your dreams. So that's all. And what I say when we transition to the dream thing is my step one: shut up and listen. And I'm just going to listen. You're just going to tell me the story. That's how I do the thing. So I'm finding a lot of similarities between what you're describing as your communication process out in the world and mine of trying to give people good answers to their own thought process. Yeah, I was going somewhere with that. I think
that's cool. No, you're setting forth a form. You're setting forth a ritual, right? That we're going to perform, and with the participants, even the listeners as well,
and a specific purpose in mind that is not to tell you what you think. I don't know.
Self-discovery. It's going to be an element of self-discovery. That's why I said at the beginning, I'm curious to see where this takes us, because this is it's an exchange. It's very similar to the exchange I have with others. It's the discovery of the humanity of others, and also helping them along the way. That's we can. We're bridging. I don't know. You're going to bridge something of my unanswered questions.
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, that's always the goal. And I can generally, it's something I failed spectacularly once. And this was a question I'm going to ask you too. So we're here at almost, will be episode 215, way back in episode 19, like 5 years ago. So 200 episodes past that. I couldn't wrap my brain around what he was seeing. I couldn't give him anything that he thought made sense. I titled that episode Going Nowhere, because in the dream, he was strapped into a chair in the middle of a desert, Colosseum, Roman Colosseum style, but there was sand everywhere and he was going nowhere. And our conversation trying to figure out why he was in that chair went nowhere. I couldn't give him anything. Spectacular failure. It doesn't haunt me. It inspires me. I will always think about that. What didn't I consider? What angle was missing? What understanding of this person did I not have that didn't give me a key to unlock anything for him? So what I was going to do,
I just got to say, that's my dream.
Well,
the one you just described just happens to be the exact same dream.
You are fucking with me. That would be amazing. This would be the single greatest moment of synchronicity in my entire life. That happened.
Can you imagine?
That's good. You got to throw that in there.
Can you imagine?
That would be amazing. I would track that guy down and we would have a three-way conversation.
Right. Yeah, right.
What is going on here? Why are you guys psychically connected or something? I'd lean into that spooky woo side of things.
I'm more and all this.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you too. So that failure taught me things, and I reference it a lot. So I was going to ask you about the evolution of this. So when you start the project, you probably had an idea of what you wanted to do, or an intuition of I want to do this thing, and then it probably evolved over time. And how did you start? What mistakes do you think you made in the beginning, and then how did it kind of morph into where it is now, where you're more comfortable with it? Maybe you have a bit more of a formula you understand. You've got the ritual dialed in, or was it always? Has it always been the same? You just do what you do, and it's
the only thing that's been consistent is using the same three questions always over the years. It's always, they're not even my questions; they're ones put together by some friends or linguists, and they helped me make non-confrontational questions because mine were actually polarizing. Some of the wording I was using, so that's the only thing. The rest has just been to experiment, to look within oneself and see. Of course, that I was being triggered and I couldn't listen to the other person. I wasn't listening. Every time they said something that I disagreed with, I was like, crap, what am I going to say now? But I'm not going to say anything. I'm supposed to be here to listen. So then what? It took years for me to get into a position where I could just be there 100%. And now it brings me to places where people are opening up so much that I have people crying. We really lean into it, but we lean into it. I'm not leaning into it with words. Actually, I'm leaning in maybe non-verbally as well. We're getting into a space. And I got to mention, a lot of these conversations I do have in an environment that's, I started maybe on the streets. Where are free speech areas in America? They're not that many, right? They're street corners, people are in cars, forget it. And there's no conversation happening there. It can't be in a mall, a commercial space where people are, because you can't exercise those, you can't have an event like that in a mall, in a commercial space. So where does that take you? So they brought me to national parks, public lands, where there's actually areas where it's where it can happen. And so people are much more relaxed in these places, and they're not in a spirit of competition or running to get somewhere. So that's been important. There's been a lot of failures, but I never considered them failures, because each one was just a little lesson to adjust and change, to try something else, to reach the other person, right?
That's the beauty
to make it, and quick. It's got to be freaking quick. Like, how do you reach? How does this happen in like less than 3 minutes, right? I don't want to take too much time. On average, it takes 2.5 minutes. We do 3 questions. They answer the whole thing. At the end, they find one word that brings the whole thing together, and that's one word to answer the whole thing. And then, off they go with an invitation to do the same with somebody else. And sometimes they want to keep on talking, and that conversation can last an hour or 2 hours. But most of the time, it's 2 hours. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's really bizarre.
And of course, you don't go up to people saying, "Hey, do you have 2 hours to answer a bunch of questions for me?" They're going to say, "No, I'm in the park with my family." But if you go, "I got 3 questions, usually takes 2 minutes. How do you feel about that?" And maybe they'll do it, maybe they don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, that's true. It's always an experimentation of how do you ask a question. But when you see a pretty weird piece of art where it's not supposed to be, there's people that come up and go.
Well, people will come up to you.
What's this? you know.
This is a conversation starter, and here you are. Let's do
Right.
it. Yeah.
We all need a tool or an excuse to have these type of conversations. And to me, the very fact that we're talking about it, the story, my story, your story, that's the one that the listeners can use to start their own conversation. I heard on this podcast this, and I want to try the same with you. But I'll just, people might be wondering what the three questions are, so I'm just going to throw them out there.
I was going to ask,
They're,
yeah.
yeah. They're, how would you describe the political system of the United States of America? 1. 2, describe your feelings or reactions to the current state of US politics. And 3rd is kind of a game where you finish the sentence.
Hey.
Politics, where do you go? Politics in the United States, and then you finish the sentence. Those are the 3. You should probably list those on there so other people, if they want to go to it, they could find the questions and be able to use them. Yeah.
I could write about the description too. I didn't write them down. I'll have to get them when I listen back to this. But that's great conversation starters. And before I lose it earlier, you were saying, I don't really consider it a failure. It's like there's some people are dismissive of cliches or platitudes, like every obstacle is an opportunity. Hey, no,
what's he doing?
We got one elderly girl who is on her last legs. Honestly, she's having a hard time getting around. He wants to play, and she is not having it. So I got to yell at him and make him leave her alone. I show him the. You don't want to spray your cats. Get compressed air. They don't. Hey. There you go. I'm leaving all that in. This is what I call value-added content. We get the cats providing drama for us.
Sure.
There they are. This is Bubba.
I got my Roomba hitting on the door of the room there. For a moment, I turned over. If anybody was looking at the video, I was turning over like, what was that?
Maybe I should get one just so Bubba here will have something to chase around that's not.
It's a vacuum.
Elderly
robot
girl.
there.
Anyway, so I got to yell at him all the time. And then he wants to eat my hands when I'm trying to type in the middle of the night. I don't know if you get to see this. I'm just scratched up everywhere. These are not freckles. These are cat marks. So it is what it is. He's got no other boy cat his age to play with. So he wrestles with daddy. Yeah. What are you going to do? I was in the middle of six. The idea of, hold on. I've almost got it. If you remember, tell me, but, reframing failures as opportunities. That way. And it's not a platitude. It's a formula. It's a ritual. It's a way of looking at like, okay, what is the opportunity here to do something different? And no one likes to fail, and it's embarrassing maybe to fail publicly, and it's it hurts our ego to say, I'm going to act confidently as if I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to be revealed as not knowing what I'm doing. I hate that. I think everybody hates that too, but reframing it as
reframing it.
Yeah. But just, and really internalizing that reframe of like, there are no failures in a way. There are only opportunities to learn a new way or to discover something. Imagine if we already had all the answers, how boring the world would be. It's like this revelatory process of surprises, and let go of that ego a little bit, and you get down to that. So I tell people in this process too, if I make a suggestion and it is way off base, you get no resonance. You're like, no, that doesn't feel right at all. Please tell me. I am happy to be wrong, because that also eliminates paths we don't go down. So tell me I'm full of shit, or tell me I'm on the wrong track. I love that. Great. Not this. Let's go somewhere else. It's like having it revealed that you're going the wrong way to a destination. I'd rather know. I'm not trying to get wherever that was going. I just rambled a bunch of stuff, but yeah. Well, then you can get excited about, am I going to fail today? Am I going to find an opportunity today?
You just change the word. It's reframing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, of course you're going to say, I failed, but then you're like, wait a second, it's not a failure.
Yeah.
And then, you're going
to
reprogram
stuff. That too.
Yeah.
And then failure's not death. We let our ideas die so we don't have to. So, yep.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
Me too. I've stole that from I think Jordan Peterson or something like that.
Well, we all steal stuff from somewhere else. There's nothing new out there.
It's true.
It's just how we reinterpret things. But there are questions. Questions can be new. Let's find some questions to questions. There'll never be answers if we just find questions to the question.
Yep, for sure. Well, I was gonna bring it around to your YouTube channel, Triptych Dialogue. So what you do is you You're creating videos, so you're setting up this art installation in a public space, and as an open invitation, stop on by and talk to me, and then you post the videos of the conversations.
Yeah, it's more like a diary that I put up there. It's not meant in any way to entertain or anything like that. Is totally wacky, uh, and uh, and sometimes. It could, I might have a video of somebody answering the three questions, and then there'll be a video of a plastic bag just going in a circle with the wind over and over.
Wasn't that
you
that's
know,
a reference back to what American Beauty? I think was that the kid that was videotaping the plastic bag. It's so beautiful.
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah, sure. Just fight because you can find beauty
I
in a
might have
lot
the
of
wrong movie.
different things. But there's just a lot of weird videos I've taken from around the world during travels that
Okay.
is to take you in a different place. Because if you're going to concentrate on a platform like YouTube, which is very visual, if you want to concentrate on the words, it's best probably to have a video that has nothing to do with the words. That's happening. There's all the reflections on Plato's allegory of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
There's me dropping off books with political messages, and then there's big lapses where I don't put anything up. So don't expect anything huge. My work is in person when I'm with other people,
Okay.
and it's what we're doing right now, I suppose. So that's good too. So we're doing that right now more than the YouTube channel.
Okay. So it isn't actually an ongoing series where you try to put up a new conversation every week, that kind of thing.
Oh
It's
no,
a little
no,
more a
no,
little more
no! Don't.
random.
It's very random. Don't
Okay.
expect it's very personal. It's very personal. But is it because it's online for all to see?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's. I certainly don't. I put. It's more of a diary,
Okay.
and I don't write in my diary very often.
Fair enough.
But I'd rather act because I find it to be more efficient to talk to people in person and to have interactions with people in person. And it's helping me tons to learn and experience and hear all these different stories from other people. And we can. I'd rather people go out and talk to strangers than watch my YouTube videos.
Fair enough. Yeah. I was just
By a
thinking
long
about
shot.
that subject too. It's like I am a not antisocial, but anti-socialization in a way type of personality. I'm very much an introvert, and a lot of people don't understand what introvert extrovert means. Is like, Ben, you don't seem very introverted. You have these animated conversations with people, and you do the dream thing, and you put videos on the internet. And what do you mean introverted? Well, it doesn't mean incapable of socializing. It just means I'd rather not. So the last thing I'm going to do is go to a public park and start a conversation with a stranger. I stay home. I can go an entire week and talk to nobody but my wife and maybe her only every other day. And we're both happy with that. And I would rather not be around people. Doesn't mean I hate people. Doesn't mean I'm uncomfortable talking to you. A little bit, I'm uncomfortable talking to anybody ever. That's just me. But very, very different approach to this kind of thing. It's like the last thing I'm going to do is go start a conversation with strangers. But I'm happy to talk to you about whatever's on your mind because we're here to do a thing. Also got a touch of the tism. So I'm like, I'm an activity-oriented socializer. As long as I'm here to do something and there's a little bit of a structure to it, the way I say it is like, I'm not just going to come over and sit on your back porch and have a beer and shoot the shit. But if you're building a fence, I'll come dig post holes with you. That kind of thing. Like if we're there for a reason, and then when that's done,
Purpose.
I will go home and say it was nice hanging out. But I'm not going to stay for dinner because then dinner becomes an unstructured social event. No, I don't know what to do with those. I'd rather not be here.
Yeah. So, Ben,
go
let's
ahead.
be clear. I go out there specifically because it's like an act of voting that I get to do over and over and over. It's an action. It's a political action that we can each do if we feel without power, right? If we feel that we have no political power, that is definitely one that has a huge repercussion. What is it? They say that one conversation in person equals hundreds, if not thousands, of comments online.
Yeah.
So no, skip that one. Speak to one person. You're going to make a huge difference. And yeah, it's about the action. It's not something I want. I'm craving to do. No, because it's tough. It's emotionally draining for sure. But it's something that we can all do, and it appears when we don't expect it. Let's just be ready and do it. That's the deal. That's the
Yeah.
deal. I'm the guy that I'll go off and I'll hike out in the desert, from morning till night by myself. Maybe my dog will come with me. Yeah. Yeah. That's about it.
Animals are
I
great.
don't need,
They don't care about awkward silences. They're not
and
looking.
they show me where the animals are.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
and
So that's good.
they're not
Yeah.
just interested in being impressed by you either. You just exist.
Mm.
That's why I love
They're
animals.
just happy. They're just happy to be with
They
us.
just
Yeah.
do what they do, and then
Mm,
sometimes you got to
mm,
yell at them because they're fighting.
I gotta get an
But
air can.
for sure. But that is interesting too. It's like so in the
Mm.
course of your conversations with people, you're listening, and hopefully by listening, you're creating a space in them to listen to you as well. So you get to give them, as you said, hey, I disagree with everything you said, possibly, but here we feel the same about this, that, or the other, and then maybe they can hear your thoughts in a similar, just understanding kind of way. Or do you do when you do the process? Is it more one sided where you listen to let them vent or express for the purpose of getting it out there? How does the interaction play out? Are they then listening to you?
It really depends on the person and on the moment, right? You might not want to go any further than just letting them say what they have to say.
Sure.
Um, it's entirely up to you. Um, but it is if we don't learn to talk to one another, the future's not looking very good as far as
No.
I can see. So, and that has to be done in person, and it's not going to be with people that we agree with. Of course, you're going to talk to people that you agree with. Good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh,
You
good.
get
We
plenty
both
of
feel
that
that
every
way.
day. It's your
Yeah, yeah.
your friend group.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
gotta
they're your
go
friend group, probably.
exactly, and it's to take a step beyond, and you're not out there to convince them of anything, except possibly to just show that we're all in this together. So when people are going out and shoot one another, maybe we shouldn't go out and shoot one another. Maybe we should all band together in this together.
Yeah, definitely. I like
It's
the
self-preservation.
no, it is, and it's I'd say it's a form of one of my favorite philosophical concepts: enlightened self-interest. It's
Mm,
okay to have your own wants and needs and pursue your self-interest, but you want to do it in that enlightened manner where it's like, I got to live with other people too, and maybe I don't want
mm,
to do things that hurt them because then they're going to want to hurt me, or then it's going to create a negative environment that I have to live in where all these hurt people are around me doing, trauma-based responsiveness to their environment because of me. Big fan of the ripple in a pond type of thing. I try to be personally that ripple in the pond, that I'm the guy who's nice to the person that is then hopefully goes home and kisses their wife rather than hits her, and then the mother passes that love on to the child, and the child passes it on to the dog instead of kicking the dog. So we'll kick the dog phenomenon, but in reverse. Let's do everything we can so that when you get to the end of that chain, the kids don't kick the dog. Yeah,
mhm,
that's kind of where I'm coming from on a lot of this kind of
mhm.
stuff. So
Yeah. That
anyway,
works. That works.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're doing something very similar. You're like, you're not out there to
Mm.
cause problems. Now that doesn't mean everything will go smoothly every time. It could backfire. It could get way more contentious than you intended. But like, the purpose is, I would say, noble. I think it's a good idea to want to do that kind of thing. So I'm glad someone's doing it while I sit here in my hermit cave and try and write books.
No, man, because you're doing it too. You're doing it too. That's what I'm finding with these podcasts. People are they're open to conversations. They're building bridges with others. They're sharing their thoughts. They're listening to other people as well. They're reaching more people than a face-to-face conversation, one-on-one, in a national park in a free speech area. Um, yeah, you're doing it too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
You
take it.
take that. Take it.
I don't
Yeah,
take
take
compliments
it.
very well. Thank you.
Yeah, take
It's,
it. Take that
what it's
one.
like, don't applaud, just throw money. That's how I am too. I'm a weird combination. I would like the gesture of being invited to your birthday party. I'm not going to come. Thank you. But please invite me and let me say no. It's okay. So that's not awkward. If it feels nice. Oh, you want me there? No, that's not happening. Anyway, I'm gonna get myself into a coughing fit. We've been going for almost an hour. Do you want to transition into the dream thing?
Sure,
We'll
yeah.
do what we're technically here to do. Okay. Well, let me write down time. What do we got? Oh, I got 50. Okay. As per my usual process, I'm going to shut up and listen. Our friend David is going to tell me one of the dreams in a recurring sequence, and we're going to then figure that out together, hopefully put together, build a collaborative understanding, as I say. And then hopefully we'll be able to link it to the other ones and find out what the common theme is and what might cause a dream like this to recur. What's it trying to say? So I'm ready when you are. Let's do it.
Benjamin the Dream Wizard wants to help you pierce the veil of night and shine the light of understanding upon the mystery of dreams. Every episode of his Dreamscapes program features real dreamers gifted with rare insight into their nocturnal visions. New Dreamscapes episodes appear every week on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and other video hosting platforms, as well as free audiobooks exploring the psychological principles which inform our dream experience, and much, much more. To join the Wizard as a guest, reach out across more than a dozen social media platforms and through the contact page at benjaminthedreamwizard.com, where you will also find the Wizard's growing catalog of historical dream literature available on Amazon, documenting the wisdom and wonder of exploration into the world of dreams over the past 2,000 years. That's Benjamin the Dream Wizard on YouTube and at benjaminthedreamwizard.com.
Context.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sleeping. But when I wake up, I remember the same dream. And so much so that I've been looking for the place that is in this dream.
Mm.
And so I think I'm driving up in your area, up in the Pacific Northwest. Very much looks like it. I am driving on the right side of the road. I'm not in New Zealand or something like that. And beautiful forest, temperate rainforest. It's a coastal drive. And I'm driving down, you know how sometimes a road hits close to a beach and then drives back up the other side of the cove and keeps on going back into the forest. I arrive close to this bay and there's no structures, just the asphalt road. And I want to stop and see what's the reveal of this bay. Is it even a bay, a cove or something like this? So I stop, and it's unusually warm for that area, which makes me think I'm more in Southeast Asia. It's a lot more humid than it should be for the vegetation that I'm witnessing. There's nobody really there. There's a very long beach that opens up at low tide, so there must be a very strong tide. And there are a few people here and there, but to my left, there's an outcrop of rocks. So I walk down beyond the outcrop of rocks. You climb up above and over, and reveals itself something of a mangrove, but more in a sandy. It's a sandy shore. There's the outcrop and then the mangrove, and it reaches out quite far, and it's quite dense. In the distance, it becomes quite dense, and it's amazing how the dream is very, very real. There's nothing surreal really about it, except maybe the temperature, or that doesn't quite correspond to the environment I'm in, and I find myself wanting to walk into the mangrove. And And it's not a mangrove like full of oyster shells and all this on its branches. It's it's very welcoming. And then there's enough space between each tree that you can walk on the sandy bottom. And and then there's water, and I walk in the water, and the water's warm, very warm. And and then I find myself, swimming, just enjoying the warm water. And it's just such a beautiful place. Everything's tranquil. It seems like it will last forever. And then an enormous wave, tsunami, comes over and submerges me. And that's it.
And then you wake up?
Then I wake up and go, where is this place? I want to find it. I want to go there. I want to live there. And even knowing that destruction awaits at the end, it's like an ideal place. Like I want to live there.
Nice.
Not that I want to build a house there to destroy the place, but I just want to be in this most exquisite place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. We got a lot of fantastic imagery there. Very,
cool.
Very good narrative. I've worked with a lot less, so we,
good.
Okay. So the, next phase of it is I'm going to go back through it with you a little bit to help me kind of see it. And we're going to expand and there's going to be details you didn't know were there. That's just kind of how it is. So, the first experience you can recall that kind of starts the sequence in terms of what we would call a dream, which, there's a lot of different definitions of what that is. And it, kind of boiling it down, most past thinkers on the subject have said it's the sequence that you remember when you wake up, because there's more before it and there's more after. I think we dream the whole night through. Fun fact. A lot of people think, oh, you only dream during REM sleep. Well, you are dreaming during REM sleep, and there's the rapid eye movement thing happening, and that's its own thing. But they started waking up people not under REM and asking them, were you dreaming? And no matter when they woke people up, the people said, yes. You essentially dream the entire night. But what we call a dream is what you were able to carry out with you when you wake up. Most of it, we way too deep. We have it's not near enough the twilight zone of waking up that we can grab it and take it out with us. I'll define that better someday. But anyway, so the first experience of the dream is you're driving down a coastal road that appears to be Pacific Northwest. Let me start writing this out. My questions would be, what identified it as Pacific Northwest? What scenery? But then also, do you have any memory of the specific type of car or of yourself sitting in the car and what you were looking at?
So there's no memory of what type of car or what if it's a van or a truck or anything fantastical. But it's the speed at which I'm coming down towards the cove, which 35 mile per hour, windy road. The trees are very much very like tall. I don't know what type. It's not redwood, but something you got up there.
Kind of evergreen, like there's.
Yeah, so definitely there are definitely evergreens. If you want to be precise.
Then there's the other kind. I can never remember.
They're evergreens. They're evergreen. They're on my right. On the left is the scene. There's the sea. I'm up above. I'm higher above. I'm a couple hundred feet above the shore. And then you coast down and towards the cove. And I don't know. I don't think there was a parking lot.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of places like that where you just kind of pull off by the side of the road. There's a little trail, and you can go to the beach if you want to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've actually driven that
straight
Pacific
up to
Coast
the
Highway a couple of times down in California. Went to, we went camping at San Simeon and did the Hearst Castle experience. 30 years ago. 35. I was young, 40, almost 40, something like that. I'm getting old, which is good and bad. I mean, you got to be old to be a real wizard too. It's all part of it. So we've got the setting. Where does it open? What's the essentially like the state of mind? So it's travel through beautiful scenery. It is
You're calm. It's calm. It's very relaxing. There's no excitement of any kind. Even to the end, there's a great tranquility when the wave at the end is going to take me.
Gotcha. Even that isn't scary or dangerous.
Oh, not at all.
That wasn't a nightmare. You didn't wake up screaming.
Not at all. No.
Okay. I think that has
it's more of a
meaning.
bummer. It is a bummer, but it's like, oh, well, that's what's happening now, right?
Yeah.
And very much like, oh, it's a beautiful day when the nuclear bombs go off. But what are you going to do?
It is quite a spectacular sight. It's undeniable that, mushroom clouds, fascinating. As something to look at, as something to experience, not so much. Unless you're looking for an exit. Yeah, just one time. Well, that is interesting. There are some experiences that kill you. Like, what an experience. Not recommended. This is not medical advice. So we can look, I like to look at things in terms of what they are, but also in terms of what they're not. Is you didn't put yourself in a city. You didn't put yourself on the mountains. You didn't put yourself in a space station on an alien planet. You didn't put yourself at the bottom of the ocean. So there's something about the experience of traveling through beautiful scenery and discovering a natural wonder that you want, that draws you towards exploration that we've got going on here. Let me just kind of...
And it's maybe a liminal space because there is some discomfort as how beautiful it is.
I like that. Yeah, volunteer anything. Liminal space. I like that. Yes. So there's
how the heck this? I haven't seen this up the coast. Why is it here? And it just it uncovers one thing after another from one rocky cove, a rocky outcrop behind it. It's where this mangrove that I didn't see. Of course, it's not the California coast anymore, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's very tropical all of a sudden, and wow, yeah. I might even say, listen, but is that just me in my waking time thinking that it'd be even nicer if I had a mask to be able to see all the fish in it? But I don't know. I'm just saying that because I've had the dream over and over and over. It's like, oh, there's so much to explore. But then I'm getting into my own personal interpretations of just some perfect sight that's going to be taken away. But I'm appreciating it now. But there's more that I'd love to explore of it.
Absolutely.
But it's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine. Bring it on.
Yeah, I think that is the direction we're going with this idea of what is it that inspires the desire to explore, and natural beauty is something, but natural beauty may be a stand-in for other motivations, and then the discovery process you go through, which may be so there's no let's do this. You gotta go. He wants to play now. You gotta go. We're gonna get this out. Sorry, buddy.
It's
fast. And then he's not wet, and then everybody's happy.
Yeah,
he's off my notes. I can't believe I never thought of that before. He just doesn't like air. It's blowing in his face. That's all it is. But there's also, it's very interesting that you weren't, you started on a hilltop in a way, or at least a rise, which suggests to me the idea of overview, where you're like, not only am I, the awareness process is looking at the thing, becoming aware of the thing from an elevated perspective, not looking down on it like judgmentally, but that, it's been revealed to you because of the vantage point. There's something in there about your process of discovering things worth discovering or pursuing that has something, and it may be a very small part in it. It may not be revelatory or anything, but sometimes you step up a level. I love meta-analysis of things. If I go to that level, I usually get a better understanding of where I'm at. And just like you get a better understanding of the lay of the land when you're looking down from a height. but you have to then descend into the thing you're going to explore, which you're down there. And what you've got is there's no parking lot. I think that does matter as well from the angle of you're finding something that is not already a well-trodden path. This is actually a discovery. Now, you're not the first there. So you're recognizing other people have probably discovered this first, and you show yourself that too. There's people on the beach. Not a lot, a few, but they're there. It's not like you're the first one. You're not breaking new ground, but you've discovered maybe something that not many people know about that is worth looking into. And so you go through the motions of that. You're like, yeah, you could have driven by. This could be a completely different dream. And then that would be lamenting maybe lost opportunities in the past. But this one's it looks more about the process of explaining to yourself why you think something's worth investigating. You're drawn to it, allegory or analogy to natural beauty. You've got this vantage point. You're seeing what's worth exploring. And then you commit to it. I'm going to park. I'm going to get out. I'm going to walk onto the beach. And you walk through this. It stop me anytime if this is, you're like, I don't feel any of this.
No, it's good. No, this is good.
Far, so good. And what,
just one thing is the dream has happened before this like Triptych dialogue project of the last 6 years.
Okay. So it's not,
but I've had it since.
Not specific to that.
Specifically rated, but I can see that there would be
those are other
relationships happening there.
Oh yeah.
But maybe it's an expectations of things to maybe it's part of my expectations of things to come.
Yeah, and we might relate it to that Triptych dialogue project, but not necessarily. It might be something even more foundational to your worldview. That then also informs other projects. So, and we're just walking through the visual imagery. So you've got
the people, no people, and then I'm
people
happier.
On the beach, and you realize that
I don't know if I'm happier.
There's what is it? So you notice there's something worth exploring. You get there, you take the action to pursue it. When you get there, there's an unfolding then as well of, well, other people have been here before. Fair enough. Nothing new under the sun, as we were saying, is standing on the shoulders of giants. Thankful that other people have done the work, so I get a washing machine and a computer, and I don't have to invent them from scratch. Thank God. But when you get there too, you're like, the beach, it turns out what you couldn't see from even that vantage point, you couldn't see it until you got in there on the ground on foot. It's bigger than it looked. It's bigger than you assumed it would be. And not only that, there are interesting features like rocky outcroppings. And there's even during the process of exploration, you're going to figure out the lay of the land. You're going to see maybe it's bigger than you thought it was. And you're going to find additional mysteries. What is beyond that point? You have to choose. You have to find something where, again, layers within layers, find something worth exploring, and then take the action to go the extra step inside the project to find more things worth exploring. And what you get to is another thing of beauty that could not be seen from the road. It could, until you'd walk down this path, figuratively, literally in the dream. That's then when you get to the mangrove. And at that point, rather than Pacific Northwest, it starts to feel more Southeast Asia. So there's, what is it? There's maybe, these are the wrong words, but correct me after I get it wrong. Setting something in America, but then the experience of it being Southeast Asian is, there's maybe an American spirit of exploration or that's not the right word, but there's an American perspective perhaps. And then, but when you get there, the experience of the hidden part of it, your mind goes to, well, this is more like the Southeast Asian maybe mindset or perspective on this something. There's something different between the process of discovery and the experience of what has been discovered. And maybe you have a more philosophical understanding of that is rooted in Southeast Asian philosophy or a Buddhist perspective or something like that. I don't know if I'm explaining something that makes sense. If you can put it into better words.
Yeah, no, but okay. Possibly, in one culture, revealing other cultures and subcultures that are unexpected, warm, welcoming. That mangrove, I kind of would like to see what's beneath the water.
Mm.
It's shallow because I know also by snorkeling in mangroves, I just love seeing the juvenile fish and all these different things and small shrimp and everything that are inside of these nurseries. But it doesn't bother me too much that I don't have a mask to see it. The water's super clear, and there's very little. There's no waves, which is crazy. I mean, because it's all calmed by the mangroves,
Hmm.
and it's absolutely flat. No birds, interestingly enough. Yeah.
Something you didn't really
Um,
notice until reflecting on the dream.
yeah, like right now, I suppose. I don't
Fair enough.
remember any birds in it.
There's a
Uh,
concept Freud said we need to be wary of at the very least, which is called secondary elaboration, where people think about their dreams and start
yeah, they're taking
adding
it somewhere
things.
else.
And you never know. I mean, how much of the dream you told me, a few minutes ago, and that we're
How
talking
much
about,
is influenced by the.
how much might have been added later because you've thought about it
Mhm.
since then.
Mm.
We'll never know. And sometimes secondary elaboration isn't a bad thing. It's like you also think of additional things like that. Well, interesting. There were no birds. So that wasn't a necessary element. You were very focused on the ground, not the trees. So it was the roots, the connection with the ocean, the little fish, the idea of wanting to get below the surface. So a lot of things, these things seem to be leaning into that theme of exploration and discovery of like, you get to the beach, you get around the rock, you find the mangroves, and
Mm.
now I want to see what's underneath that. And
Mhm.
uh,
Ugh.
so
That resonates with me because that's what people say of me. However, I'm
please,
pretty certain in the dream that I'm not upset that people are there because I know I can take off and it's quite large. There's room enough for everyone.
hmm
Uh, but I don't want to be there with them. I want my own space on this beautiful area. Yeah. Yeah, it's not that I'm bummed out because it's big enough. It would be
yeah,
bummed out if it was at a tour bus that tons of people taking pictures and there were
for sure.
trash and all this stuff. There's none of that. It's idyllic. No
Yeah,
trash. Calm. Not a bug to bite you. I
yeah.
want to go swimming in that right now. Oh,
So there might be an element of
that'd be nice.
uh
And I'm going to Colombia in a couple of weeks. Oh, this all ties in, and I know I'm not going to find it there either.
but you'll keep looking. It'll be like
Oh yeah,
maybe someday,
yeah.
maybe some, and that's a great thing too. Is you may never be able to if we are conceptualizing this broadly as your desire for exploration and discovery, you'll never scratch that itch. There's always another corner to turn around, and you'll be on your
Mm.
deathbed going, should have traveled more. And you traveled every day as much as you possibly could financially and realistically.
Still
But
be, still,
yeah,
still
you're going to
want
get to
more.
the end going,
Yeah.
oh, there's so much more to explore. Now, I would say the good news is
Yeah.
you're onto one of the most amazing things to explore. What comes next? So, you leave this place behind, and I don't think death is the end. So, but that's up to individuals to say. I think that exploration is like cosmic. Like you get to see.
Oh, you mean the one with entering the tsunami wave or something like this?
Well,
Or
I mean,
you're not there
in
yet?
real life, like when we die,
Oh, in
I
real
think
life.
afterwards
Oh yeah. Mm.
we go on to probably the great an adventure that makes this look like nothing. Like why was I trying to hang on to that so hard? Not that it isn't worthwhile while we're here, not that it isn't meaningful overall, but we're gonna look at it and go, wow, I spent way too much time worrying about shit that didn't matter. Oh my God, what was I thinking? I think we're gonna have that. That's my opinion. That's
May you be
spiritual
right.
perspective,
May you
right?
be
I know
right.
exactly. I hope so. I'm gonna cross my fingers. How certain am I?
Then
Oh, not
void
at all.
and nothingness.
Yeah. Well, which also has its
But that'd be good too.
that
I
also
don't
has its own appeal. There is no suffering in
Mm.
void.
Mm.
You non-existence. I mean, that is absolutely nothing to be afraid of. There's no possibility of any negative experiences. So,
know. Right. Or even of experiencing anything. Yeah.
exactly. There's just
Yeah. Or nothing. Yeah.
just quiet sleep. No, not even the experience of sleep.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm looking for this place, Ben. Where is it?
I know. I was going to say I'll
No,
keep
no,
an
no.
eye out here in the Pacific Northwest for a beach, the beach that leads
I
to a
just tend to
mangrove.
add that as this dream is so recurring that I've actually looked for it. I went to New Zealand looking for this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to New Zealand expecting to find an element. I knew it wouldn't all come together, but I was expecting to find that space. And every day I was like, oh, this could be this might be today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
my thought might be that rather than a physical location, it is an experience, and you're looking for that experience, and you may be able to find it somewhere, but I don't know that you're going to find that beach, those rocks, that mangrove. I think it represents a state of being, a state of mind,
Yeah.
and an
Yeah.
experience more than anything. That's what it feels like to me. I could be wrong.
Man, I am digging it right now because it's more liberating. Like I'm making associations with my current project
Mm-hmm.
because it's so transformative. I don't have the anger. I'm not triggered by people's comments the way I used to be. I care about things just as much as I used to, but at least I'm acting on them, exploring and finding really amazing things in all the people I'm speaking to, even though it's very different. Although in my dream, it's all very comfortable place I want to be in, very, a very comfortable conversation. And I'm not looking for comfortable conversations when I'm interacting with strangers.
Fair
So I don't
enough.
know, there's
Yeah.
something in there, but the exploration and discovery, I
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And then
Thanks. This is good. I like this.
so we've got low tide, Long Beach, scattered people, rock outcropping. Feels very real. And so what does it mean to have
No,
a
it's so real.
feeling in a dream? Is like it in some ways, even the most fantastical things can feel real. I mean, it's a feature of dreams that we don't question flying or magic or unicorns, anything that we know doesn't exist in the real world, but it feels real there. But I think the real feeling is the idea that that feeling itself would stand out to you. Um, the thought that occurs to me is that whatever this represents, you have a certainty that it is a real thing. So that's what I'm saying is that rather than a place, it's like a real feeling. It's a real state of mind or being that can be accomplished is where I'm leading. If we take it out of the physical and put it just in the conceptual, I think that might be something around that idea, that it wasn't surreal. I mean, you didn't look at it and go, oh, this is too good to be true. You said, no, this is true. This can be found, whatever this is.
And that could be now that hearing it from you and talking about it, it helps because yes, I actually actively looked for this place, but it's there's no reason for it to exist, but conceptually it does, and by acknowledging that, that's very liberating.
Yeah, so you don't blow your savings on planes around the world when what you're looking for,
warming it up.
What you seek is within, grasshopper.
Ooh, yes.
I love that. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Yoda style. Anyway, that's good too, because like, okay, maybe this thing exists in a lot more places than just one. It actually expands the range of where you can find it, even though it is a very specific type of thing, which we might dial in a little bit, thinking of like, why a mangrove? Maybe that leads into the Eastern philosophical concepts involved in what it means, what this place means, or what it represents. But also,
because maybe it's the nursery aspect of it. I see it
that
more
really stands
as
out
not
with the fish.
Yeah, just because it's like the mothering tree to other species.
Yeah.
And this is me thinking after the dream. They're probably not going to die from the tsunami wave the way I will. There'll be destruction, but they're not going to be eradicated.
Well, and even in the dream too, you didn't have fear. You don't describe the experience of dying. I mean, after the dream, we look back and go, "Oh, if a tsunami hit me, I'd drown." But in the dream, I don't think it's really water killing you. I don't that doesn't jump out to me as a likely idea. But so you've got the beauty of the mangrove in general. You've got the nursery aspect of it. You're very focused on down the roots, what's underneath, and the little fish being nursed, and but also you described that it's not so tightly packed. You could actually walk among it. So there's an aspect of what is it not? It's not impenetrable. It's not something you can only see from the outside. It's something you can walk into and in a way become a part of. You can go closer to the thing you want to experience, or walk into the beauty and get a better look. And then maybe even a subsequent dream someday, you will go snorkeling underneath it and be like, oh, look what Jesus. But before you can walk in, that's when the tsunami comes. Like you're still on the edge of it, having this experience of seeing what's in front of you. Or do you actually walk in?
I'm walking in. I'm swimming within it.
Okay.
I'm spending quite a bit of the dream is all of that time just being completely immersed, enjoying the water. It seems like it's going to last forever.
That's right. You did go swimming. I hadn't got to that part of my notes.
Yeah,
warm water,
I'm in
beautiful,
it.
tranquil.
I'm in it.
I wrote down beautiful, tranquil, and eternal, but that eternal was an interpretation of another word you used. Sorry.
And then after it happens, it doesn't cut it necessarily short. I've been, I stay in that water for longer than me getting to the area with the mangrove and getting it. Most of it is me just going through the mangrove here and there. Actually, in some dreams, there's no, I'm far beyond, I'm beyond the rocky outcrops. I don't even see where they are. I'm just surrounded by all of this. It's just very, very cool, Yeah. And it's not very deep either. You can stand up if you need to, but it's just such a nice body temperature water. It's so tranquil and feels so good. That salt water making you float like that. Ooh,
yeah, feels
good.
Very cool.
Yeah,
well, that's
I don't even know how I see I don't even know how I can see the tsunami wave. It's not like it comes with any sound or anything. It just it just takes over. I don't hear any crushing of the mangrove. There's no violence
there's no mounting
in it.
dread or anything. It just happens.
It's just like there's kind of like an oh shit.
Okay.
Oh well. And maybe then just like oh well.
As it's happening, kind of, but not like
what?
Gotcha.
It's like what am I gonna do now? Like there's not a freaking chance I'm getting out of this one. It's coming, so just take it on because this is. And there's no waking up with like a struggle, like I'm in it and I might make it to the rock and hold on to the rock and get out and I'm okay or not okay or get crushed to the shore. It just, that's it, The
thought that occurs to me there is because of how you describe it and because of what it is, there's a force of nature to it. It's a tsunami, and nature dictates a lot of things, including beginnings and endings. So if we look at the tsunami as an unfortunate end, an inevitable end to a positive experience, and we all go through those cycles, nothing good lasts forever. No matter how excited you are about a new discovery, there comes a point where it's been explored as fully as you can for the moment, or you've run out of time for the day, or you got other things you have to do, conflicting interests. There's always an involuntary end to a good time that we, every vacation to Disneyland, you got to go home at some point. Nothing good lasts forever, no matter how good it is. So I'm thinking the tsunami is more like that. It's like an involuntary, end to a good time. I'm going to stop there. I'm using a lot of words.
That's good. It's like the impermanence of it. Yeah. It's it's inévitable. How do you say in English? Inévitable, inevitable.
Inevitability.
That's it.
We add so many damn syllables to words.
It's the same word. It's the same word. I know in French, but I don't know in English.
Yeah.
But it's like
I'm amazed I could hear it. I know that word.
Good.
I've got a little smattering of a bunch of different languages in my head. I'm still trying to learn English, honestly. It's pretty complicated. There's so many. I'll get it right one day. And that's what I see it as, like, oh, bummer. It's over. Yeah. And we get our experiences bounded by things beyond our control. So because I don't think you don't get the sense that you're going to die, that it's going to destroy the mangrove. It's, that it's going to hurt the fish in any way. So this is all about, oh, well, I wish the good time didn't have to end, but it does. The tsunami's here. It's the natural boundary has reached, and I'll have to explore it again next time. So if we think of this as I wouldn't be surprised that you would have recurring dreams with this imagery, because I think you're a lot like me in terms of exploration and discovery of like, there's always something else. There's always another thing. And really what the structure of the dream would say perhaps is, you don't have a hard time finding new things you're interested in exploring. But once you get in there, you spend a long time and, oh, I'm in the thing again. I'm doing the experience. And it's over again. I'll have to look for another one, and probably repeat that process. I don't know if that makes sense to you, or if you think bringing in other elements from the recurring dreams and how they're different might be worthwhile to explore.
You mean as this like another recurring dream that seems similar to that, in a sense?
Yeah. Now that we've kind of explored this one, and then how are the other ones similar or different, and what might that say about? Okay, well, let me do this first. This particular dream, did it occur at a specific time? Well, of course it did. Time and place in your life. What was going on around then? How long ago was it? What were the projects you were in the middle of, just finished, or contemplating starting?
Well, I kind of know what happened. I know I had it before I went to New Zealand, and that happened. Yeah, I heard of Trump winning his first term while I was in New Zealand. So whenever that happened.
Okay.
So it happened before that.
2016, I think.
Yeah.
So that was this specific dream.
Yeah, this specific dream happened before that because it was before I went to New Zealand.
Okay.
And then it's happened since then as well, and it's very, very similar. I've had dreams that are somewhat, I can see similarities in its feeling, right?
Any other dreams where it's specifically you discover a beach and then the mangroves, that pattern is repeated?
I've had that. I've had that before. Yeah.
Okay.
And it ends up with the mangrove.
How many?
It ends up with the.
How many over what period of time would you say? Starting when and extending?
I'd say like 5 years. 5 years, maybe 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4
For
times
me,
over
like,
a 5 year.
Yeah.
Period.
I never get the same dream again. It's so bizarre.
Okay. So this one specifically started the sequence, or was in the middle of the sequence, or?
This one is in the beginning of the sequence.
The very first. And then you had
that's the very first
couple, three more as the years went by.
Similar. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, so if you look at the other ones that did happen subsequently, and we were to apply that lens of this is about your love of discovery and the experience of it, and the naturally short-term nature of how you're able to engage with new discoveries, does that seem to apply to the other ones, or is there some fundamental difference that maybe we haven't quite dialed in yet that would be repeating?
It's very much I guess for it's the same dream, without
the same feeling, and maybe different.
The same
elements?
feeling, the different. Maybe me arriving in the car might be different. I just remember it very vividly once, and then woke up at other times thinking, I think I had that same dream again, but without being able to remember the details as to say, to the car doing this. But I've had other dreams that are quite different in the scenario, but that had a similar feeling of tranquility, that have seemed very vivid. That I should find this place, and I will be at peace there.
Definitely, yeah. So if that's what was I going to say? Wow, I lost it. I started petting the cat, and I'm like, no, I can think of as petting the cat and just listening to you. It's my own thoughts disappeared. That's one thing too, is like this being a show and a performance in a way is like, I gotta have something to say. You don't want to just sit and watch people stare at each other. So, but sometimes I run out of things to say. So we've got, what do you think about that analysis? Do you think it's,
well, okay, the analysis the analysis to me is very much is like I said earlier, it's liberating, because it's not a geographical location that I have to search out and explore and keep on traveling to find. It is one that's been with me all the time, and that is that I can find peace within my exploration, regardless of what the outcome in the end will be, such as a termination of of life. It doesn't matter. It's the journey and being submerged and comfortable in that space, and not being afraid of it being taken away or not having had the opportunity to share. It's one of tranquility. Of
Nice.
course, if you feel that tranquility, it's like, well, that sounds great. I want to find that place. I want to be in that
I
space.
know. I'd love to live there
But,
forever. But,
yeah, right.
I think
That sounds good.
That's good too. It's like if that, I mean, if you came away from this entire experience with nothing but a little bit of a sense of relief that, wow, okay, this place actually isn't that hard to find. I find it all the time. I can't stay there forever when I do find it, but I will find it again. It's cyclical. It will come back. I will find it again. I'll be there. I will have that bliss again, and it'll fade, and I'll find it again. That's also very freeing too. Is adjusting your expectations as well. It takes a lot of pressure off. You don't have to find it. It's not gone forever. You can't stay there forever, but it comes back. That should also be freeing too. It's like now you can just do what you do, and the way you naturally travel through the world, and in this car sense, is you're the guy who's driving over the hill and sees what's below and goes, I'm going to go check that out. And you do. And that's where you find it. So following that urge will probably lead you to that tranquil place more often. And I think maybe if you look back through your life, you'll find that that's exactly what has happened. And you're like,
that's what I'm saying.
Make that happen more often.
Right. It just feels more liberating to know that, that's a state of mind, and to be submerged in that, to have that as a living dream. I mean, what else can I possibly want from a tranquil dream as to know that I can take it into the consciousness and take it with me.
Take it with you everywhere you go.
My hikes. Yeah. For even it's a just short moment. Dang. I mean, that's perfect.
Very cool.
Right. I didn't have that before. So thank you for that.
Very cool. I appreciate. Don't. I don't do.
Oh no, I'm not throwing it to you. Really, I mean, that's
I
it.
appreciate it. No, I live for that. I just don't want to get all verklempt on the air.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
They're gonna hand you tissues.
A little bit. I know. It's okay. Okay. So wrapping it up, just in general, is now that we've talked about it, you've had this experience with me here today. You've had these thoughts. You've had your own epiphanies on it based on me just throwing out random stuff that seems to make sense. It would not surprise me if this dream comes back very soon, and it has an additional flavor based on what we've talked about today. And I'd be interested to hear back from you. So generally, like if dreams are recurring dreams come back because we still need to understand something, this is my understanding, that we haven't figured out yet. We haven't wrapped our brains around a concept, or we haven't figured out a solution to a problem, and it keeps popping up. But the other thing is that some recurring dreams come back because the situation that inspired it is also cyclical. You will experience whatever inspired that dream again, and it may remind you of the dream. And this. So you only had a 5-year period that was 10 years ago where this was happening. Well, it was 5 years ago, or it stopped 5 years ago. So maybe you found out. Maybe you found something that solved the dream for you, that put it into a perspective, even if it was subconscious, so it made it unnecessary for the dream to come back. So a lot of times when I've been talking to people, if we hit upon the right theme and gave it the right shape and understanding, the recurring dreams stop entirely, or they change. So they'd already stopped for you. They may come back, and they may be different moving forward. They may... Sometimes if they do come back, they will come back as, all right, now you're ready for part 2. And there was a part 2 beyond the tsunami for you, perhaps. And you might get to see what that is now that we've kind of feels like we figured it out, I guess. So I'll hope for that for you too.
Thank you. That would be neat.
Yeah. No, it's always possible. And maybe I just planted a seed.
That's what I was thinking.
I didn't mean to do that, but that's. I just have ideas and I throw them out there.
But then all the stories that we have, all the encounters that we have, they're kind of planting the seed.
Oh, for sure.
And for the processing during our dreams. Yeah. But then I always think of dreams as being an area to process the events of the day and unresolved issues. And I always wondered, why does this one really stand out? Why does this one? So then it's interesting that I never even thought is almost superstitious in a way, that I attributed an actual location, like there's a message between that subconscious, that dream, and something in the conscious world that's awaiting for me.
Yeah.
And that's like magic right there, isn't it? Like going
Yeah.
to that, and I guess I wasn't acknowledging that. I actually took that as comes my like own personal truth. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't
Yeah,
mean
but
to,
I had
I don't
it.
mean
I
to
had
take
it.
that from
It was
you.
right there. It
If
was right there.
well, if you find that place, please
Oh,
take a
damn,
picture. Take a picture of it
yeah,
and let
I'm
me know.
calling.
Because
I don't know if I have cell phone reception. I don't know. I'll try.
I don't dismiss the spooky woo side of things. I just don't understand it. So I leave that off the table in terms of my analysis, but that is entirely possible. But I also like the idea of looking at it through this other way. And there's another way to bring that together as well, is that the feeling you had was that this was a real place. And that's true. I think concepts and states of mind are also real places. They're just not physical places. It is a place. It's a place. We have to get into the root of the word place and what it actually means. And then I don't have that the definition in my head.
It doesn't have the physicality of it, but it has the other elements that
everything
constitute
but
that place.
Atoms and molecules and arranged in a specific order. And that's part of my spiritual or religious ideas, that I think, what angels and demons are essentially good and bad ideas. And I use that, and those are very real. I mean, like the concept of up and down, in a way, is more real than, and this is where I get to like so Plato's allegory of the cave. I don't know if it was Aristotle or Plato, but had the world of forms, the essence of chairness, the perfect chair, or exists somewhere in the ether, not as an object, but as the concept of what a chair is. This is a chair, that is a cow. They are not the same thing. That essence, the form of it, is what he was getting at. And so I was going somewhere with that too. Damn.
But it's like the form of space, because Plato
angels and demons. I'll come
beauty, talks about beauty as well, and that's a form.
Yeah. And it's a pure concept.
Space, I guess, it could be one too.
Concepts are as real as physical objects, because the concepts order the universe. We see that order in the physical universe, but it's the meta concept that tells the universe what to be, how to work. So this is what I get with angels and demons. So there's an angel by the name of Uriel. And this is kind of apocryphal, outside of the Bible. You're not going to find a lot of this stuff in there, and a demon by the name of Stolas, and they both will grant you knowledge or wisdom if you summon them. And the way I've boiled that down, I'm going to write a book. I've got so many book ideas. Now, I got to finish the sci-fi fantasy series first, but one of these days I want to do a Wizard's Guide to Angels and Demons. So if you summon the demon Stolas, he will give you wisdom and knowledge you will learn the hard way. The school of hard knocks, by making a whole lot of mistakes and suffering and coming out wiser on the other side. And that's why it's the demonic thing. There's like unnecessary suffering involved, and he'll give you all that you want, and you'll learn a whole lot of stuff. If you call out to and invite Uriel, it is more the spirit of received wisdom and understanding, learning from the mistakes of others, listening to your elders who've been there, done that, and maybe have some wise things to say. It's doing your own research. It is acting wisely and carefully in the world. It's the two different paths you can walk to get to the same destination. One, you're gonna suffer a lot more unnecessarily than the other. So there's a kind of yin yang wholeness to the idea of these counterpart angels, like good ideas, bad ideas. But conceptually, you can see that exists. There are two paths you can walk to the same understanding. You're going to suffer a lot less doing it one way than the other. And that's how I conceptualize angels and demons. That's why I say they are very real. They don't have a physical form. But bad ideas, demons can possess you as well. We talk about like the demon rum, the alcoholism, the addiction type of thing. That is its own kind of demon. You're carrying this suffering and this bad, wrong, dysfunctional way of acting in the world. I'm going to stop there. Now I'm just ranting about my personal philosophy. But that's why I say angels and demons are real. And people look at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I'm just a crazy guy on the internet who thinks he's a wizard. So you take that with a grain of salt. Well, okay. If you think we've gotten as much as we can out of this, and you're satisfied with the answer, maybe we'll wrap it up. Okay, sounds good
to me.
Now I got to move the
I like
cat.
where it took me. That was very good.
Baby girl. I'm sorry, you got to move. Well, I appreciate that. It's always nice when I can kind of give people something worthwhile and maybe even just surprise them a little bit. Like, wow, I never thought of that. I didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't see that coming.
Very
I didn't
nice.
know. I didn't know that. So no, I'm going to interpret that with some other dreams that are kind of similar with that same feeling. It's liberating. That's really what I meant by liberating.
That is very
That's
nice.
good.
Yeah, I would hope people come out of these experiences, with feeling that it was worthwhile because they gained something useful, or it helped settle a disturbing feeling into something more tranquil, as you were looking for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
let's be
let's do
looking
this.
for it. It's already there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is inside. That's what they say. The Eastern mystics, they'll say it's inside of you already. You just have to find it. Yes, wherever you go, there you are. Home. Okay. By way of closing out the show, let's say this has been our friend David Deaton from Santa Fe, New Mexico. He is a conceptual artist who speaks to strangers about the taboo of politics, a bridger who facilitates conversations using art installations in free speech areas, a creator of the Triptych Dialogue Art Project. You can find it on YouTube. And for my part, would you kindly like, share, and subscribe? Tell your friends. Always need more volunteer dreamers. I do video game streams Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific, most days of the week. This episode specifically brought to you in part by ABC Book 18, Oniro Chronologia, Volume 4, Prima Reliquorum. You can find all this and more at BenjaminTheDreamWizard.com. And if you'd head on over to BenjaminTheDreamWizard.locals.com, free to join, attached to my Rumble account. And that is, that's the housekeeping. David, thank you for being here. Fascinating conversation.
Thank you, man. This is great.
Very cool. And the only thing left to say is, everybody out there, thank you for watching. And we hope to see you next time.